Katie Kim is our new Jackpot winner. Happy hunting, LA.
Hello, we are at San Diego Comic-Con 2024. Paul, how are you, sir?
I am great, Joe.
Yo, I like Jackpot a lot.
Did you?
It's so much fun. It's a great ride. First of all, what drew you to the story, and can you talk about your approach in creating this world?
Yeah, well, I mean, the script was sent to me, and Nora was actually already attached.
Oh, really?
Awkwafina, yeah, and she's a friend of mine, and we've been dying to work together on something. But when they sent me the script, it was called Grand Theft Lotto,
yes.
And I was like, that sounds like the stupidest movie ever. And so I kind of said, I'm not going to read that. And 2 days later, my producing partner Laura Fisher called up and she said, like, you should read this script. It's super funny. And I got 40 pages into it and said, I didn't care how this ends. I'm doing this movie. It's just too much fun.
That is incredible.
No,
so it's a chance that you possibly could have not have made this movie.
Yeah, if not for Laura calling me and telling me to read it, it'd probably be sitting on my piles.
Wow. I hope Laura gets some kind of kickback for this.
Oh, totally.
Now, what other, if for fans or for people that may not know what this is, what other action movies or comedies did you use for inspiration at all for Jackpot?
Well, I'm a Jackie Chan fanatic and a Hong Kong, film fanatic. But Jackie's movies I love because he's always in over his head. He's never looking for a fight. He's trying to get out of a fight, and that's why when I read this, is like this is the Jackie Chan movie I always wanted to make. And so just kind of dove into it and knew it was also my chance to do more comedy action than I'd done before. I mean, we had a lot in Spy, but I was always like, I want to do more, but I want to do more that's just physical. Again, because of my love of the Hong Kong films and all that. And so, we brought on James Young and his team, stunt coordinators who do a lot of the Marvel stuff and Captain America and all that. And they were just like pigs and shit because he loves, like myself, Jackie Chan movies. We love old silent films, Buster Keaton and Harold Lloyd and all that stuff and Warner Brothers cartoons. So we were just like, oh my God, we can just have so much fun with all the action in this. And that's what we did. We just went wild.
So Awkwafina was already attached to the project before you jumped on, but could you talk about the casting process with Simu Liu and John Cena and getting them involved? Because I think one thing is they're both great at comedy, but they're also great at action, and I think they're the perfect fit for this.
Yeah, well, John has actually been attached to this movie for a while, and he was kind of involved. They went through different phases of it where they had different kind of lead. The part that Nora played, it was kind of an ever-changing role.
Sure.
And it was really when Nora came on, Rob Yescombe, who wrote the script, adapted it to her personality, and that's when I read it. So I was just like, this is the funniest thing ever for Nora. But then when I had a Zoom with John, and he's so great. But what I fell in love with him because he's like, look, I don't want you to think you got to make me look cool or anything. I'm up for anything funny. I was like, you are my hero. Because, somebody like that could easily be like, I'm not, I'm going to just be tough and all this. I love this character because he's a big nerd, know?
I mean, look, John is one of the most self-deprecating dudes out there. I love that man. He is fantastic.
He is the greatest.
I got to ask this because I think the buddy dynamic between Awkwafina and John is phenomenal. Can you talk about how you wanted to lean into the physical comedy with the two of them, and can you talk about their dynamic a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they get along like a house on fire, and they're both such professionals that they just are there to work, and to be funny and do their thing, but also to be put through a lot. I mean, Nora's hanging off of stuff. John's getting thrown through stuff, all this, and they just kind of went into it so well. But they just wanted to make it great. And, what's interesting with John is since, he's a wrestler,
sure,
he is very in tune with how exact all this stuff needs to be. And he was really with the stunt team, it was just like they were all just like, oh my God, it was like military precision. It's just like, okay, because he just knew the timing. And then Nora just leaned in. She would go to these stunt rehearsals that we had, and I was always getting reports from the stunt team. They're like, oh my God, she's killing it, and she's coming up with funny ideas for this and that. Because what they do is basically when you're putting together an action thing, the stunt team will go and kind of on their iPhones shoot the scene.
They'll kind of map it out.
They'll map it out with like boxes for walls and all that kind of thing. So then you get that, and then you're like, oh, cool. Oh, let's try this. Let's try that. And so it becomes this fun thing where we're kind of inventing it and coming up with stuff as we go along. Like when John has Nora strapped to his back, that just came out of, you're like, I wish like he could keep her behind him, and I was like, well, what if we just tie her on his back? He was like, can we do that? Yeah, we can do that. Okay, cool.
You know, I'm going to steal your phrase. I've never heard the phrase, they got along like a house on fire.
Yeah, well, really?
I'm taking that from you.
Oh, I'm an old dude.
I like that, Paul. Now, why is John's character protecting Awkwafina while the rest of California is trying to kill her?
Well, because he is a very good moral man who is in it for his commission. You know, because he gets 10% of whatever jackpot she wins. But as you find out throughout the movie, you know, we're never sure if he's on the level or not. But you find out he's a really good guy.
I love seeing Simu Liu as a villain, and especially this villain.
Yes.
Can you talk about working with him to craft that character?
Yeah, I mean, look, Simu's so smart that he read it and he really came in kind of knowing what he wanted to do with it. And I was like, you got to wear a three-piece white suit. You have to wear an all-white suit because I just think it's funny that the villain wears all white. And no, he was masterful. I really didn't have to give him much. You know, it was just fun to find. You know, action comedies fall apart when you have a silly villain.
Sure.
You know, because then there's no danger. Like, okay, nobody's going to get hurt. So he's great at being funny, but also being really scary, too. Right. But he delivers, to me, it's my favorite joke I've ever had in a movie, which is the LaCroix joke, which I'm not going to give away. But just talk about commitment to a stupid joke that he sells so hardcore dramatic, it just killed me.
Just thinking about that cracks me up. Now, you've created so many great movies with perfect duos, and this stays true to that. Can you talk to me about the secret to finding the right pair and that on-screen chemistry that John and Awkwafina have?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, what I found over the years is if you hire really good people, they have a chemistry. I can't tell you why that is, but I've been involved with things where you go like, ooh, there's not any chemistry between them, but that's usually stuff I didn't cast. Thank you very much. You know, but it's really because, you know, especially comedy people, they're tennis players, sure. You know, and you have to have somebody else to play against, and they're all very supportive. You know, I've only had one time in my career when I was involved with something that wasn't mine, where the lead funny person wanted to be the only funny person. And it was not good because, like, if anybody else has a funny joke, suddenly that joke would be taken away or given to that person. And you're just like, okay. So it's really, so that chemistry just came through, and then you play into it. You know, we're very hardcore about our scripts and making sure we, you know, stick to the script for the structure of the script. But then once you're in there, I'm not the guy like, say it word for word. And you know, you want them playing. And
right, to feel the scene out, feel each other out.
Totally. Just change it up to make it theirs and then be in the moment. They see something and I try to cross shoot stuff. So I'm getting them both at the same time so they can surprise each other with stuff. I can surprise them with stuff. And it's just fun to watch it organically grow.
That's incredible. You know, there was an announcement yesterday that you're going to be doing a Blumhouse thing. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that project at all?
Yeah.
What it is and...
Yeah, no, totally. It's based on. There was an article in New York Magazine, I think it was, about this woman who had this basically a serial squatter come into her life, who seemed like the nicest guy in the world and turned out to be an absolute nightmare in her house and couldn't get him out of the house. And there's the Netflix series that Blumhouse produces called Worst Roommate Ever. Sure. And the first 2 episodes of the first season are about this situation.
Oh, fascinating.
But the script is really fun. We've been developing it for a little bit. And I just think it's a really fun chance to do something really scary and thrilling, but yeah, I'm always trying to find the humor in these
Are we too far ahead of the casting process at this point to
yeah. We're early days. Yeah.
Very cool. Now, John Cena, as you mentioned earlier, obviously he's a famous professional wrestler. He's retiring very, very soon. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about his stunt works with that level of knowledge of professional wrestling and his precision doing the stunts? Yeah,
I mean, he is so precise in what he does, but he gets the joke, you know, because to have something, look, you have to treat the action seriously, because if we're going like, oh, it's crazy, then that feels like a hat on a hat.
Sure.
But at the same time, you have to know that what you're doing is going to be seen as funny. So your timing has to be really right. And, you know, things like he back fist somebody, you know, just again, the guy like, you have to come here right now. You know, one of the stunt guys, and he was very specific about when you had to land to do this stuff. And but because he doesn't want to hurt anyone,
right? Of course,
and again in wrestling, I mean, those guys are like superheroes. I mean, I don't care if you think it's fake or not; those guys are slamming themselves around.
It can't feel good.
No,
can't feel
totally. And so he just brings that whole thing to it.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for stopping by. Jackpot's so much fun, absolutely incredible. I'm so happy that you stopped by. And listen, just watch the film. The chemistry between Awkwafina and John Cena. Magic.
There you go. August 15th.
August 15th,
it hits
baby.
Prime.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
What is going on?
Katie, you won the lottery. And now anyone with a losing ticket that kills you before sundown gets her money, legally.
Okay, that's murder.
Oh, not in California. It's just a chance at the big time.